Hey friends! Welcome. I'm Melissa from the Blue Wagon Stitcher. So good to have you here with me today. I have a lot of things to share with you, mostly haul today. I'll share with you some of my works in progress. I have a couple of fully finished items, and then I visited Shepherd's Bush last week. And so I will share with you my finds from Shepherd's Bush. It was just a lovely quick minute run down to Utah and be able to stop there and say hello and get probably more than a few things. All right, let's see, life goings on, just the day-to-day stuff going on really. We've been out in the garden, so that has been exciting. The snow has melted, which is saying something for southeast Idaho here in the early spring. It will come back, but hopefully from here on out it does not stay for too long. We have a lovely garden. It doesn't look so lovely at the moment. It is still quite brown and dreary, but we were out trimming trees this weekend. Peaches and apple trees, trimming those and trimming up the rest of the raspberry canes that I didn't get trimmed up last year, and just starting to enjoy being out in the garden. We were able to get some dirt on sale to help fill up my garden boxes, and just a few things to start us going in the garden. Hopefully this next week I can get some peas planted and hopefully some beets and some carrots as well. So that is exciting. I will leave a link down below to my other YouTube channel where I will be sharing my garden updates. And my dad reached out to me and said, hey, I'd love to stay up with you on your garden happenings. I'd love to see it and would love to see your progress. He is living in North Carolina with my mom, and they live out in the Charlotte suburbs. And he recently it's been a few years, had a car accident which left him with a traumatic brain injury, which makes it difficult for him to travel. And so we've been able to see him when we go out there to visit, but my mom comes alone when she comes out here to visit us. He just has a very difficult time flying and traveling at all. And so we are going to go visit them this summer. But when he reached out and asked for that garden tour, I thought, oh, that's a great idea, Dad. And he asked for pictures, but I thought, why don't I send some video? And so while I was making the video, I thought the easiest way to share it with him is to just put it up on my YouTube channel. So I will leave that link down below so that you can follow along with my garden adventures if you'd like to do that as well. The first video that is up is not at all polished. It is the wind blowing and all kinds of dogs. My dogs are barking in the background, but you do get a real-life tour of my garden. So I will leave that down below if that's something you are also interested in and would like to follow along with me on. Okay, let's get started with my whips today. I've been working mostly on 3 projects recently. I've had a lot of things going on at work, at home. We have been adjusting to my nephew living with us and supporting him to get back on his feet, and things have just been a little bit crazy lately. But in between those crazy times I have found a little bit of time to stitch. So my first one is the Fox and Rabbit Stitch Along, and we're coming along, but I just have, since the last time I met with you, I've done the center floral piece and then one of the side pieces. This will be matched in all 4 of these sections, and this little floral piece here will also come here. But that's as far as I've gotten. I don't feel too terrible. March will end in one day, but at least I have them outlined here so that I can continue on to April and come back and work on March as I'd like to and as I get some time. I just was not in a place to do so much counting and attention stitching. So that one did not get as much time this month as it should have. So there's that one. And then I have a new start. My new start, after market, I decided to start on Tiny Modernist's Twilight Moon. And it is the cross stitch the rainbow pattern from Tiny Modernist. And I have a very small but started start. I believe this is on Velt. I am not sure who that's by. I think it's 36 count probably. And I thought that that was a pretty good color. It is not quite, sorry my pattern dropped there, not quite the same blue tone, but I think as far as I am stitching right now it's showing up pretty good and I think it will look lovely. Okay, so there is my start on Tiny Modernist Twilight Moon. And then my last whip has been, I've showed this several times, my progress here. This is Plum Street Samplers Peace, Love, and Purpose. And this is where my heart has been stitching and where I've made the most progress on this. And I've got my threads stuck in there, my needle in my spot, but that's real stitching. So there is my progress on that one. Peace, Love, and Purpose. And this one is on a 40 count. This is a Fox and Rabbit that came last, in January, as part of their Patreon. I can't think of the name of it. But if you're interested in any of those things that I didn't have the information for and you want the exact information, just leave a comment below and I will be happy to reply to that for you. My email and other contact information is all in the description below as well. Okay, I have 2 fully finished items. So I got to finish all the way March's free pattern from Primrose Cottage. They sent, let's see if that will focus. It might. They sent this lovely St. Patrick's free pattern, and I stitched it all in the month of March and fully finished it. And I like to get the kits for these as well. I usually get the floss and fabric kits, and then at the end of the month they come out with the finishing kits, and I usually buy both. And the reason I do that is because I actually follow through when I have the kits. The thread and fabric isn't quite as important, but I do like it. As soon as that pattern comes out I can start right away. I don't have to think about it, and it's just a quick simple stitch anyway, so it makes it easy to start and do it. And then when I get the finishing kit, again, so easy. I have everything that I need to just finish it up. It comes with the rickrack, the fabric, and Lindsay usually does a tutorial or points us to a tutorial in the same style of one she's already done. And they do the felt back, so you snip a hole and stuff it that way. And I like that. I've made bags in the past and you leave the seam open and finish it after. But once they're stuffed like this, it is so much harder to close that bottom, and that just makes it fun and gives it a little character. So there's my March pillow. And then I also finished my bee pillow. This I think is, I think the bee quilt from Primrose Cottage. Let's see if it will focus for you. It's trying to. Bee quilt, and I just had yellow fabric that I finished it on, and then some white felt that I threw on the back there. So there's my fully finished bee quilt from Primrose Cottage. So not a whole lot in the way of whips and finishes, but a little bit. Progress is progress. And now I am really excited to share with you my visit to Shepherd's Bush. So I live in southeast Idaho. Shepherd's Bush is about 2.5 to 3 hours drive for me, but it is my closest local needle workshop. Not so local, but I do make many trips to Utah, and it is right on the way down I-15 on the corridor down to Salt Lake and Provo, where I often am headed. And so on Friday, yes, on Friday, I'm filming this on Sunday, March 30th. But on Friday, I had to take my son for a medical appointment down to Salt Lake, and so we went a little extra early. 14-year-olds don't love the stitch shop like their moms do. So he was happy to stay in the car for 45 minutes while I enjoyed Shepherd's Bush. And I had a lovely time looking around. I had in mind mostly what I wanted and what I was looking for. I meandered a little bit and picked up a few extra things that I hadn't intended to pick up. But overall, I didn't spend a whole lot of time, just hanging out knowing my son was waiting for me. But I did get to chat with several of the ladies at Shepherd's Bush just briefly, and one of you fantastic viewers were actually there and recognized me and said hello. First person who's ever recognized me from YouTube and said, "Hey, you're on YouTube, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." And come to find out, she was visiting from Idaho as well, from just a couple hours away from me in Burley. And so, hello, and thanks for saying hi and reaching out. That was so fun to meet you. We didn't exchange names. I'm so sorry I didn't ask you your name, but we talked about where we were from and had a little bit of a small chat there for a moment. So, so at Shepherd's Bush, I haven't even opened my bag from Friday because I wanted to show you what a cute job the ladies there do of wrapping your purchase up. They put it in this fun bag. It is just fantastic. They always tie a ribbon at the top. It's in a lovely bow, so I didn't even undo the bow before showing you because I wanted to show you how cute it is. And then their little logo here with a sheep, and then their information is down below. It's hard to see in the bag, but cute purple sheep and their address and contact information down here on the bottom of the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and open it, and we'll try to minimize as much of the plastic noise as possible and take all of the things out here. They did a great job of kind of organizing things as well as they went through it. And so we'll see if I can slide it out here and have it on my lap. So I don't know, one probably, it's like going to the store when you're hungry. One probably shouldn't go to your LNS and just be looking around when you're in the stitchy mood. So I had been pining for stitching, have not had a lot of time to stitch in the last 2 weeks, as you saw by my whips, and so I was just in the mood to stitch all of the things, and so I purchased all of the things. The gals were so sweet. Like, "Wow, you really found a lot today." And I said, "Well, you have to make the trip worth it when you come down," and that's exactly what I did. So I'm just going to start here on the top and work our way down. This was one of the things that the Shepherd's Bush gals came out with, I think, for market. It is the How Does Your Garden Grow bag, and it's this cute bag where the center section here is cross-stitch material. And so the bag and everything is included in this kit. They put it all together for you, such a great deal, all curated and everything, just exactly what you need. And so then you can stitch that little bag. So, how does your garden grow? And then I grabbed these cute from Willoughby Ann. These are the Ribbert drops, a set of 10 floss drops. I'll take them out of the bag here so you can see them. I had seen these somewhere on the internets, and Shepherd's Bush, oh, they're falling. Shepherd's Bush happened to have them in stock. You can see their little frog, and they've got the hole there for your group of floss, and then, oh, let's see if you can, there we go. Maybe you can see that better. And then the smaller hole for your single threads, or the threads you're not using. This cute little frog shape. So I couldn't pass those up. So those are new from market as well. Okay, I've got several fabrics here. My receipts. I'm going to hold on to those right here as I show you what I have going on. Here we go. Okay, everyone's all the rage right now about the ladybug. Okay, hands-on design ladybug picnic. And I had been eyeing the bee for a very long time as well. And I thought, I've got to get them both. So I got botanical bee and fabric to stitch it on. It's another thing that the Shepherd's Bush gals do a great job of, is having fabrics already cut to size and ready for you. So there's my fabric and my pattern ready to go. And then the same thing, there's my ladybug picnic. I had hesitated picking it up in my initial market order and decided to just bite the bullet and go ahead and get it. And what put me over the edge was that they had the fabric. And I know a lot of the other stores around the internet were unable to get this fabric and didn't have it in, or ran out of it really quickly, so they had one piece left. So I couldn't pass that up and grabbed Ladybug Picnic. Alright, I also grabbed, I had grabbed the Tiny Town Nativity, that again is all the rage, And as you know, I am a beekeeper, and Shepherd's Bush happened to have the Honey of a Tiny Town. So I picked up Honey of a Tiny Town. Excited for that one. Okay, and let me see here. I might grab these other patterns that I have. So patterns in the needlework recipe book this year. And I love Shepherd's Bush pattern that is in the recipe book. If you've not picked up the recipe book, even if you don't cook, if you're not a fan of other people's recipes, that's fine. It is full of small stitches. And this is the one that is in the book for Shepherd's Bush, and they were selling kits. The fabric and just the right amount of thread. It even comes with a needle to be able to stitch their pattern that is in the cookbook. So I grabbed the kit for that. Okay, now I have been also eyeing the cross-stitch bags. So the Mad for Plaid bags that are done by Fat Quarter Shop. It's So Emma. That's their publishing brand. So it's So Emma, and Shepherd's Bush has many patterns that you can stitch on those bags. And this is their newest one. It's the garden bag. Like I said, I'm a gardener, so all of the garden and the bee things here in the spring were calling my name. So I grabbed the kit from Shepherd's Bush, all of the threads, the buttons, all together there in the kit with the pattern to be able to stitch the garden bag. And I picked up the bag. It's really crinkly. It's this fun green bag. So it's the larger bag in that fun green color. Okay. And then while I was there, I saw the Buzz mini bag. Okay, so their mini patterns go on this size of bag. Sorry, the difference, compare them at the same time. Sorry, it's gonna be crinkly. So there you can compare the difference. This is a small mini bag and this is the regular size bag. So on the mini bag, sorry, it's this beautiful teal color. The color will adjust here in just a moment. That's pretty true to color there. And here is the Buzz mini bag. Cute little bees with the word Buzz. Again, I got the kit. It has all of the buttons and the floss. And then they taped to it, I got the charm for the garden bag. It has a shovel and a watering can and a flower that I will put on. It has a zipper pull for my garden bag. Okay. The other pattern that I had been eyeing is, oh, where did it go? Not this one. This is beautiful fabric that I just picked up though. This is, I think the dyer is Peace and Goodwill. And then it says it's a 36 count Tobias is the color I'm thinking. Those of you who know more about linens can correct me. But it is a 36 count. It's a lovely neutral brown color. And I think the name of it is Tobias. Okay. And I just had here, just a moment ago, well, I don't know where it went. But we'll find it. I had, oh, there it is. It fell on the other side. So, Chubby You. And this is from Jeanette Douglas. She has a Chubby series, and this is the first time I was introduced to that Chubby series with the sheep. And I was noticing how few decorations I have for the Easter and spring season. So I picked up the sheep to begin, really, because I have nothing else, my collection of Easter and spring decorations. And this is what I was looking for. Again, the gals there at Shepherd's Bush cut a perfectly sized piece of linen for the Chubby You. This is 32 count flax, and they tucked a needle in there for me. They're just sweet. I probably came home with 5 or 6, maybe 7 needles from them. They had needles tucked everywhere. Speaking of, I grabbed, let's see if we can get it to look, because that is not what it looks like. It is a much prettier green than that. Maybe there. but this is a lovely green. This is 20 count kudzu, and this is for the bee etchings. So I did already get the bee etchings pattern, and I can't remember who published it, who that designer is, but the bee etchings, you all are yelling at me right now who it is, and I can see it in my mind. But one of the samples that she did was to stitch just the bee on a larger count and make a pillow out of it. And the Shepherd's Bush gals had this fabric already cut, ready to stitch that bee on 20 count over 2. So it'll be nice and big, basically 10 count, and make a pillow out of that. So I'm excited to add that as part of my bee stitching. And then 2 more patterns that I picked up that I had been eyeing from market release and had just not grabbed at the moment, but then seeing them in person there at Shepherd's Bush, I decided to go ahead. This is Liberty by Brenda Gervais. It says, "Where liberty dwells, there's my country," a quote from Benjamin Franklin. So I picked up that pattern. I'm also really excited to do some patriotic stitching this summer. So I grabbed that. And then Joy by Shakespeare's Peddler. That one has also really been in my wish list. And so let's see if I come out of the frame, if it'll focus better. If these aren't focused, I'll put in some pictures for you. But Joy by Shakespeare's Peddler. Okay, so that is my haul. And then the gals are just great. She just kept putting needles. And so they've got these little paper heart cutouts. And she added these needles for all of my stitching. I think I have everything from a 22 to a 26 size needle maybe. So I'll have to compare those and look at those and see which projects they're all for. But they got me needles for my bags so that I could stitch. Those are done in number 5 pearl cotton, so a thicker thread because they are a bigger count on those bags. So I had to show you all of those so that I can get started on them. I am really excited. Next week I have a trip down to Phoenix for work, and I am going to stop in at the attic. I am really excited about that. It'll be my first trip to the attic. I actually lived in Phoenix for some time in my early 20s, my late teens. I graduated high school in the Phoenix area, but then I wasn't into all the stitching, so I didn't know that I should be going to the attic. But now I do, and I am excited to also visit the attic. And so next time that we get together and meet together, I will be sharing with you my adventures in visiting the attic. And I'm not planning to get a lot there. Plans and actualities, I know, sometimes are different. But what I'm really hoping for is to go and experience the shop and to pick out one sampler that really calls to me. I have not done a reproduction sampler yet. And frankly, nothing that I've really done has really fit into the sampler category, even in the modern times. Most of what I've done are, I guess they could be called samplers in some ways, and some of them have the word sampler in their descriptions or their titles. But I'm looking for more of the true sampler. I just haven't done one of those. So I'm excited to go to the shop, to really look around, take my time to view them, and choose one that just really speaks to me, and get that all kitted and ready for me to start stitching. One of those that will probably be a project that will last me a couple of years, and who knows, maybe I'll love it so much that I'll just focus on it and get it done quickly. But that is my plan in going to the attic, is just to experience and pick out one sampler and be able to kit it. I've also never stitched with silks. We'll just see when I get there if that's what I decide to go with or not. But that is something that's intriguing to me and that I'd like to learn more about. So wish me luck as I get to make that visit and come back and see how my trip goes. I'm excited to share that with you after I get back. I think that's all of the stitchy things. I did want to share with you a couple of the folks that I have enjoyed watching this last week, that I watch often, but I'd like to shout out 2 or 3 fellow YouTubers each time that I do a video. So the first gals that I want to shout out to are Kristi and Suzie. the happiest stitches on earth. I love watching them. They truly are just happy, full of energy, good friends. They get to do shows together a lot. They did recently over Nashville. Were able to do a couple of their Flosstube episodes together in person, but one lives in Florida and the other one, I want to say in Indiana, but I can't remember. Either way, they don't live close to each other, so they do their floss tubes from a distance together, and they are just a joy to watch. I just love them. They actually happen to do a tutorial on a stitchy box and how to put together a stitchy box at the same time I was working on my stitchy box. So they are just a joy to watch. Maggie at Home on the Ridge, also lovely to watch. She does such a great job at finishing, and she's a master at it. And she does a lot of fun and unique projects, things that are a little bit maybe not the mainstream that most people are talking about at the moment. So it's fun to watch her and learn about some other projects that you might be interested in, that I get interested in, to add to my wish list. And then I love watching Laura and Brenda at Brenda and the Serial Stitcher. They do more sampler type work, so I have loved watching them and learning from them in their sampler work as I try to dabble a little bit more into that realm. So those are 3 YouTube channels that I would encourage you to watch as well. And thanks so much for coming back and visiting with me. And we will see you next time.